What's going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today we're going to talk to you about SoFi. I want to go over some of the current data points, the 8K that just came out, as well as the new short interest percentage. So there's quite a lot to talk on in this video, so make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. And with that said, let's get right to it. So SoFi did do fairly good today, closed 2.22% in the green. Nothing really crazy from a technical standpoint. 34.6 million shares were traded, 53.4 is the average. You can already tell based on the intraday chart, a lot of the volume done today was algorithmic trading, because looking at this, just big money still has not really been getting into SoFi. There was something yesterday, and I feel like that is more of a precursor on something that SoFi needs to do. And so far, like I said, just big institutions have stopped getting into SoFi roughly about 2 weeks ago. So that might change tomorrow possibly, because tomorrow will be the last trading day in this quarter. So a lot of institutions will be rebalancing. So you might see some abnormal trading tomorrow. But aside from that though, still something to be aware of, just institutions not really getting in. Today, there was no news from SoFi. As far as this though, I did kind of push my SoFi video back a little bit just to anticipate if there was a magical 8K that was going to come out to see if any VPs or executives or someone else quit. So far, nothing. But there was an 8K that came out after hours yesterday that didn't really talk on. And I do see a lot of articles coming out, and they're kind of trying to spin it in a negative way. And so for instance, in this 8K, it actually does say that SoFi is diluting, or did dilute, 72.6 million shares. And that is them by concluding and closing out the 2026 notes. We already did know that. And that's, in my opinion, one factor why it went down as much as it did. A lot of bulls tried to focus on the cost savings that the 2029 notes did do, but at the same time, a lot of people were neglecting, I think, the main reason why it did go down, and that was because of the massive amount of dilution. But in reality, the fact is, with SoFi being green today, it kind of does signal that the market was anticipating a lot more dilution than this. So 72.6 million is kind of acceptable based on the market. And so going forward, at least we do know that this 72.6 million in dilution, which normally would cause a stock to go down, it's been factored in and priced into the stock. So I guess going forward, that's kind of a good thing. So be wary about a lot of the FUD that's out there saying that SoFi has diluted 72.6 million. Yes, it's true. Is it a big reason to worry? Not really. It's already factored into the price. So kind of take that for whatever you want. But moving on from here, talking on the new short interest percentage, right now 20.65% of the free float is being shorted. That works out to be 203.53 million shares overall are being shorted. Today's shorts did return 1.65 million shares. Cost to borrow average is 0.83% and utilization is 80.84. So I'm sure some of you are wondering, how on earth did it jump up so much? Well, technically, there's 2 times per month that the NASDAQ does disclose a true amount of shares being shorted, and they did that yesterday. It is delayed, so it's still kind of a flawed system. So as of March the 15th, so like I said, delayed, but as of March the 15th, there was 209.9 million shares overall being shorted, and that works out to be 22.98%. So what Ortex does is they take that information, adjust obviously what has happened since March the 15th, and this is where you do get this new short interest, 20.65. Nonetheless, though, definitely looking back over this last little bit, like this is kind of SPAC level stuff, or pre-SPAC, or whatever you want to call it. So definitely very interesting. So the highest short interest that's been so far is 20.7. That's kind of been recorded. So as of today, it is very close. And I guess if you kind of think about it, on March the 15th, that was a record high short interest for SoFi. So very interesting. Is it justified for shorts to be entering into SoFi given their, I guess, track record on their earnings? Not really. So there might be some aspect that I am kind of missing out. Why institutions aren't really getting into SoFi and why maybe shorts are increasing, I don't know. But like I said, there is one thing that did come out yesterday that I feel like SoFi can really improve on. So Robinhood had an event, and even Visa's CEO did say that Robinhood was a one-stop shop. And I feel like that is something that SoFi is maybe missing out on, because possibly maybe SoFi is not being as innovative as it once was, maybe in like 2022 or possibly even throughout 2023. Maybe that's why institutions aren't really getting into SoFi. The only one, I guess, of stature that's kind of buying SoFi is Cathie Woods, which I think she's kind of paused for right now. But maybe this is something that like SoFi needs to shake themselves and said like, hey, like do something. Fix something, because I think they're SoFi Invest. I've seen a lot of people kind of bitching about it on social media and stuff like that. And on my Twitter, I don't really have that many followers associated to SoFi, and definitely not Hood. I don't think I've ever spoken on Robinhood before, but I did do a poll, only 99 votes, so obviously take that with a grain of salt. But I just said pick one to buy, either SoFi or Robinhood. And surprisingly, a lot of people did say Robinhood. So, and again, I think most of my followers on here are EV related / possibly some SoFi. So for the fact that there was 37% for Robinhood, that goes to show that SoFi does need to do something. People are preferring to buy, for instance, Robinhood over SoFi. So I think something definitely does need to change, and maybe that is exactly why some institutions aren't buying SoFi. So I don't know, this is just me throwing it out there. You guys let me know your thoughts on that. As far as options though, $5.05 million in calls being purchased versus 3.69 million in puts. Sentiment wise, somewhat evenly divided. So 37% of all the options being done today were neutral. So a lot of people were just kind of collecting the premiums essentially, no real abnormal transactions. And it does look like around the $5 strike price, $10 strike price, and again, just clearly option strategies where they just collect premiums. So interesting stuff. If you guys don't know options, highly suggest in researching them, because a very volatile stock such as SoFi that likes to move kind of within a set range is perfect to collect premiums on. And this is why I do like to sell covered calls and sell puts. Very advantageous, but obviously you guys do whatever floats your boat. When it comes down to options though, based on the call options that were purchased, I guess I should say, there was a strong consensus for it to be above $7.50, and then looking at the puts below $7. So somewhat evenly divided in my opinion, but looking right here, so with it closing at $7.36 and the low being $7.17, this is now the second day it did bounce off of this pivot of $7.23. So as I've said in the past, that $7.47 right here is a very strong resistance point, and then aside from that, you're going to have that self-brought $7.50. So right now, I'll just give you a quick overview of the open interest on the calls. So right now at the $7.50, the wall is starting to get built up a little bit higher. So 26,000 in open interest. SoFi has always struggled with that in the past. So again, for it to get above it going into tomorrow, that's going to be a very hard thing for them to do. So let me know your thoughts on that, and if you think SoFi can close above $7.50. But in my opinion, I feel like it is going to once again hit that wall essentially around $7.50. But nonetheless, at least it's kind of staying within this range and not selling off. That's kind of a positive thing. When it comes to the technicals though, I'll just give you a quick overview. So today was more of a consolidation, just building up strong support. Looking at stochastic, you do see a nice bullish deviation. So white line above the red, but it is at 44. So it is getting up there. So it's not considered oversold anymore. So something to kind of consider. Number of retail investors weren't really doing all that much today. So kind of just maintaining themselves, and kind of matches exactly what institutions have been doing over the last little bit. So let me know your thoughts. Have you been buying SoFi? Have you been selling? Are you one of those individuals that likes to sell or do options? And if so, what strike price have you been kind of orienting around? And as well, what is your thoughts, for instance, on shorts, the new short interest percentage on it being, I guess, as of the 15th, being record high? Do you think that's something to be worried about? Or do you think, like, what is missing? Like, what am I missing about SoFi? Why is institutions not really getting into SoFi in the long aspect? And why are shorts just increasing? Is there something fundamentally wrong with SoFi that I'm not aware of? So let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. One final thing, if you do like my channel, want to support the growth, take a look at my memberships, link in the description below and also the comments. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.